My name is Bryan, and this is my best buddy, and his name is Bryan too.
Out of all the water in the world, only 1% is fresh water. It's all we got, and we want to explore all of it.
So we've decided to start with a trip that's never been done before. A 4,000-mile journey from Milk River, Alberta, all the way down to New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh, and did I mention we're gonna do it in a canoe?
Think we're crazy? You're right. We're the paddling Bryans.
We wanted to travel, but we didn't want to just go and backpack Europe or do something. We want to do something else, something different, something that nobody else does.
Something kind of epic, something big that we could always remember, So no matter what happens, we have this. We came up with the idea in my parents' backyard. I was working at West, so when I come back to visit friends in Montreal, I hang out with Bry, and we were sitting in the backyard.
Drinking, having a good time, and talking about how we were fed up of what we were doing for the time being, and we were brainstorming, and this is what came out of it, We're taking a canoe and a bunch of gear, and we're paddling down from southern Alberta. Now we're south of Lethbridge, all the way down to New Orleans.
13 states, 6 months, 3,500 miles, and we're just gonna take it one little canoe trip at a time. It's also just like, how the hell else can you get away from everything for 6 months? Any other way is just unaffordable. You go with a tent and a canoe and, well, yeah, anybody could take 6 months off, It's an affordable vacation. A lot of people thought we were crazy.
People laughed. Nobody believed us, really. Said, oh yeah, sure, you guys are gonna do that, Bryan and Bryan with another crazy idea. At first, I wasn't 100% sure the trip was gonna happen.
I think a lot of our friends and family actually started to really believe in us because we talked about it for so long, we planned for so long.
The more me and Bryan talked and looked and researched things, the more it seemed doable, and the more real it got. And then as soon as we started to buy gear, then I knew it was on. When we actually came up with the idea, we'd never been in a canoe together, but once we did start the planning and everything, I guess we met out a handful of times.
What I like about canoeing is usually you can get to places you can't get to by any other means. With being able to port and go through water, if you're portaging, going through water, it's unlimited. It might take you a hell of a lot longer to get there, but it's unlimited to where you can go. It's calm, it's quiet, but yet, even though it's not so fast moving, you find yourself in hairy situations too in it. Enough of this, I gotta hit the water. Take a look at what we got here.
Not what I was expecting,
No, that's a little shallower and narrower than I was expecting. What do you think? I think right there is perfect, man. We could launch in there.
Easy.
Load up.
Right down there.
Exactly. It's all flat. We could stock up the gear, load the canoe. Let's get her done, bro.
Let's go paddling, man.
when we finally hit the water, it was great. It was an amazing feeling. It was like, you know, now we were ready to start, because we spent a month getting ready for this and, you know, waiting on camera gear and just, you know, getting real excited for the trip to start. So the first time we packed the canoe, I was like a kid on Christmas.
This scenery is unbelievable. You can only see this by water.
I can't believe that I'm out here doing this. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this.
We figured it would take us 6 months because we planned it on a 30-mile a day.
6 days a week, 1 day off each week. And when we calculated everything and all, we got a rough estimate of 6 months. So we're hoping we can do it in that. The seating arrangement in the canoe, what we do the whole trip is Bryan's always the steerer, the driver, let's say, and I'm up in the front navigating. And one, you know, it's good because I love maps and I've got a pretty good sense of direction. And two, Bryan doesn't really like it when I drive the car or drive anything else. So, you know, I'd rather not hear him complain.
Someone once told me never to stand in a canoe. I guess especially not on top of all your gear. And then this other guy that we know gave us a really fancy camera and said be very careful with it.
I love the canoe part of this, but really the shooting part, like, why are we filming this?
Neither of us really knew how to use a video camera. The only time I'd ever used one is those little handy cams that you know, people use to make home videos, and our home videos weren't very professional at all.
A lot of people that see some of the stuff that we've already done and whatever, it really looks like we have someone out there or someone to set up, and then you're constantly set up the camera, leave.
This is Bryan Formula Canoe does the bobsled run.
Canoe past it, turn around, canoe back, take down the camera, then canoe down the part of the river that we just canoed down again.
It takes you a half hour to get back to the thing. You've wasted an entire tape on a 15-second shot, you know?
Why don't we have a crew? Everybody else has a crew.
We figured for us to shoot 1 hour of film took about 4 hours out of our time. So 2 tapes was a day gone.
All this, we still have, you know, another 5,000 or 3,000 miles until we get to New Orleans.
You start tallying it up, it ends up being long.
Sometimes it looks like Bryan did the trip on his own.
Rolling, rolling down the white water. That's how. I don't know how that song goes, man. Do you?
No, not really.
And actually, it works out pretty well because he's kind of a camera hog. I really am in this show, you know, even though you never see me.
As far as deciding what kind of gear we needed to bring, I guess we just used your basic, what you'd bring on a canoe camping trip, plus everything you'd need for 6 months.
Our canoe actually has a payload of 1,800 pounds. We needed to bring a lot of stuff, and we could put a lot of stuff in there.
We ended up having a little more elaborate kitchen than your every, you know, 1 week canoe trip, a little more elaborate everything, I guess, you know. We just brought a little bit extra, and apart from that, it's your basic camping gear.
I do!
The first 2 days, man, we got some great weather. I mean, beautiful, sunny. Had to be 40-degree heat. You know, it was an awesome way to start the trip.
When we're traveling good like this and the water's high, we can play around. I mean, we take the time to play around and enjoy ourselves because, hell, we're out here for a long time, so may as well make the best of it.
I don't know if this is gonna work.
Whoa! Ouch!
It didn't even work.
Oh! Yes!
Task accomplished.
Take two. Yow!
Everything was going just fine, and then Bryan hurt his knee.
Day 2, and already major troubles. I mean, look at the size of my right knee compared to my left knee. It's swollen up like the size of a golf ball. Well, no, this one's the size of a golf ball. This one's swollen the size of a tennis ball.
When we first woke up and found that Bryan's knee was swollen, our general plan was just hope that it was going to go away.
It was pretty tough because I get pretty stressed out about any medical issue. You know, if I have the flu, I think I'm dying. So when my knee was looking like that right away, I was stressed. I think they say 5 for extreme pain.
Bryan likes to stress about things, and if I'm stressing about his knee, I know it's not going to help him get what he needs to be done.
You know, morale is pretty high for me, probably pretty low for Bryan because his knee can't be feeling that great.
Didn't hit it, didn't bang it. You know, there's no explanation, and that's the worst, when you don't have an explanation to why something's going wrong or something's hurting.
And my first thought is, man, are we cursed? You know, we're 2 days into this trip, and already this happens.
I was concerned that it would affect the journey, it would delay the journey, or it might, you know, get us stopped further down the road because of delays because of the knee, but I knew that was not going to stop me.
Even though we were getting nervous about how this might be the time that we're going to have to throw in the towel, we're both pretty stubborn, and we said, you know, we're going to make it or die trying. So as long as we don't have to cut off Bryan's leg, we're not going to get stopped here.
Quitting's never an option.
We knew 2 days down the river there was Writing on Stone Provincial Park, and we figured that if there's a provincial park, we'd be able to find a park ranger, and he'd be able to help us out, at least you know, get us to first aid if we needed first aid.
In Writing on Stone, we met up with a paramedic who basically told me I had no option but to go see a doctor about this.
In your opinion, do you think it's better to just go take care of it?
I would
right
go
away?
take care of it now and don't risk, because you got a long stretch to go before you're going to see anybody.
Yeah.
And if it does get worse, what are you going to do, right? You're pretty much hooped, so.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe this was happening.
It's so typical. Leave it to Bryan to screw things up. This thing with Bryan's knee is really, you know, an eye-opener, making us notice that there's a lot of other things we have to contend with, not just the river. We're both good campers and good paddlers, but things like medical issues are out of our control. We had a pretty full medical kit, but we're not doctors either. We didn't know what was wrong with him, so we didn't know what to give him, you know?
To get to the hospital, we pulled out at Writing on Stone Provincial Park, and Bry stayed with camp. We set up camp there, and I hitchhiked in. Okay, let's see if some bikers want to pick me up, eh? You guys want to pick me up? You guys want to pick me up? Oh, come on. All right, yeah. Perfect. I figured I was going to get picked up by the first car, but I guess everyone camping, they got a full load of stock, and they don't have room for an extra passenger, so it actually took a little bit of time. It probably took about 2 hours before I got picked up. Here's a van right here, right on. Oh, and they're stopping, thank you. Hi, I paddled here from Milk River, and my knees just mucked up, so I have no ride to get to a hospital. I was wondering if you guys were passing through.
Yeah, we're going through Milk River, but we can give you a ride there.
Right on.
We can't give you a ride back though.
That's okay, I'll figure it out. Thank you so much.
No problem. Ben, where'd you guys travel from?
Just from town Milk River. We're actually headed to New Orleans, so we don't have a car.
You headed to New Orleans?
Yeah, it's 2 years in the planning and 4-month trip there, so.
That's fantastic.
2 days in, I'm already busted up.
Oh no.
While I was going back and forth to the hospital, Bry was, you know, staying with camp, staying with our stuff, making sure it was all good. Actually, Bry was socializing a lot.
It wasn't all bad being stuck in Writing on Stone. We got to meet some really great people. We met a really cool group of reptile specialists.
So much of a hatred of snakes. That's why we like to focus on snakes. Is, you know, nobody likes snakes. Well, we like snakes. You guys are pretty relaxed, but you know, on the grander scale, you know, nobody really likes snakes. Yeah. They're really a bomb deal for these poor critters. So you know, it's great to go out and actually be able to talk to kids and say like, hey, it's not scary to hold a snake. Here you go.
Yeah. Your hands on.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Really cool.
Super nice.
He met the game wardens, the park ranger. He was establishing contacts.
Got to meet this great old lady. She was a pretty amazing person. She was 91 years old, and she's been paddling and canoeing, rafting, everything down the Milk River for her entire life.
I was born in Milk River, and I've lived here all my life, and we have enjoyed the river. I've been going down the river just about every year. Yeah.
Up until last year, you were saying?
I didn't go in last year, and I didn't go this year.
Okay, so the last 2 years.
Yeah. When I turned 90, I thought that was enough.
Yeah.
So now I'm 91 now. I didn't go this year either.
It was an awesome thing to meet her. She's been there since there was really not much in the town of Milk River, and not too much in southern Alberta either. You know, it's not the most densely populated place to begin with, and she's seen almost a century of it. Scariest part too was we're watching the Milk River dry up day by day. It gets a little bit shallower, a little bit narrower. What happens is further upstream from Writing on Stone National Park, there's irrigation dams for the farmers, and to hold the water back, to have enough water to irrigate their farms for the fall, they dam up the river.
So what is usually about a 30-foot wide river could turn into 1 or 2 feet of water. So we had concerns about not making it out of there. Right on. Well, thank you very much. It was really nice meeting you guys.
Have a great trip.
Have
a great trip.
Have a great trip.
You guys can come to the door and see that on camera if you want.
Awesome. Have a great trip.
So what he's got here is a septic bursitis. He's got it of the right knee. Basically what that means is your knees kind of hooked together like this on top of some meninges. That's the cartilage you got where they join together. This cartilage has got a little bit of inflammation, whether it's from a bacteria getting in there or exactly what. Problem with that is cartilage is not a very highly vascularized area, which means it doesn't have a good blood supply. So what we're trying to do is just get the antibiotics in there. Usually it lasts longer than if he had it just in his tissue or in a bone, because he doesn't have the good blood supply to actually get the medication in there. So he may be on antibiotics for anywhere for 2 to 3 weeks. And we're going to try to kickstart them with giving it intramuscular IM, which he gets to get in the butt cheek, which he's just thrilled about.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yo.
He's tougher today than yesterday. Yesterday he cried like a baby.
It was a pretty quick diagnosis when he was in Milk River, but he had to go back every day for 10 days for shots.
It turned out it was an infection in the knee. It's just like any other infection, they said. It just happens, and this one just happened to go in the knee, which is a pretty bad place. My knee ended up swelling up to almost the size of a grapefruit. It's still pretty big. I've been icing it every day and taking antibiotics that they prescribed me. I go in every day and they hook me up for about an hour to intravenous. I haven't been to the doctors yet today, but with what I heard yesterday and with how it's feeling and looking, it's morale's at an all-time high right now because I know it's go time on Sunday. I'm almost positive.
But you think it's good? I should hit the water tomorrow, no problem?
I think you do very well.
Perfect, okay.
I'm happy with this.
Right on.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bryan.
So finally I got the green light and we were good to go.
I'm just stoked, you know. We're back in the game.
So this is day 10, I guess, or 11. Not 100% sure. Taking down camp actually, because Bryan just got the all clear the other day for departure with his knee. We're actually really worried about this. I especially was really worried about this because we've been planning this whole trip for about 2 years now, and you know, 2 days into it, Bryan gets an infection in his knee, and it was looking like, you know what, it wasn't getting better. The antibiotics they were giving him weren't really doing much, and yeah, we were quite worried about, or I was quite worried about what was going to happen with this whole trip.
We got to get back in the water. This is what we came for.
Brian's knee is good now. We just gotta hope he doesn't mess up the other one.
Well, it's our first day back on the water from our my 7 hospital trips and our 7-day delay in writing on stone. And as you can see, we were warned by many of the park rangers and people that worked in the parks that this time of year the Milk River is pretty dry. So, well, as you can see, we're beached in the middle of Milk River right now. We've been hauling the canoe for about 50 yards there. Yeah, the river's pretty shallow, and we're supposed to expect this all the way for the next, all the way till the Fresno Dam, basically. A dry river, a heavy canoe, and a lot of gear to haul. By the time we got out of the Milk River, we'd probably dragged the canoe over 100 miles, walking in water just up to our ankles, hauling a canoe with about 800 pounds of gear in it. So there's a lot of river walking. I realize now that this trip is not just fun and games.